and I mean the entire bodies, went to the center of the field. Coaches and officials had to come out. We almost had a brawl before this thing got started. That's the way both clubs feel about the other. Oklahoma, 3 downs and out. They punted. Colorado, first offensive possession for them tonight. Lamont Warren inside the 40, and he is down to the 39. This is what we were referring to, Mike, as far as the two clubs coming on the field tonight. And they wanted to get a close look at each other and do some early talking.
Heavyweight fight. They want to look in the eyes of the other fighter.
You see the officials doing an excellent job of keeping the teams apart. Also the coaching staffs. They came out of the locker room and realized they were going to have to go to midfield and do some work early. As you look at Bill McCartney, 11 years as the head coach here of the Buffaloes. Play action. The freshman throws it complete. That's Embry, the tight end. He will have it to the 35-yard line, and it appears he is a little bit short. Sean Embry, a junior from Inglewood, Colorado.
Ron, for the people who have just joined the telecast, Les Stecco, the offensive coordinator, has really just done a marvelous job here at the beginning of the game, getting Coy Detmer in the rhythm of the football game. A lot of short passes, draw game, but making him feel comfortable and having success early.
Correa and Embry, 2 tight end alignment for the Buffaloes. And it's with Warren, and he is not going to have it, I don't believe. David Campbell, a sophomore out of Oklahoma City, Millwood, hit him at the line of scrimmage. He got penetration, Mike.
Well, Ron, I said it last week, and I'll say it again. The only complaint I have about the one-back set is in short yardage, you need to bring a second back in or a tight end in motion for a lead blocker on the short yardage play because you don't have a lead blocker.
James Hill will come into the lineup. Junior fullback, 6 feet, 210, out of Colorado Springs. And he will join Lamont Warren, number 12. 4th down, Colorado, less than a yard. Warren hit at the line of scrimmage and fights his way forward. Mike Coates is the man who hit him, and Michael knew he got just enough inside the 35 to pick up the first down, he thinks. But now from the marking of the ball, they're not going to give it to him.
Colorado brought the extra back in. James Hill, number 33. You're going to see him lead block here, but he never got to the point of attack. Number 41, Mike Coates, steps up and makes the tackle. Oklahoma gets the football.
Oklahoma defense holds. So it is a 4th down try for the Buffaloes, and they are not successful. No score. 10 minutes and 1 second left to play in this opening quarter. The Kansas Jayhawks have forged their way on top by way of winning this afternoon in a wild affair, 50-47. So they are 2-0 in conference play. And by virtue of that, sitting atop the Big 8 Conference this evening.
Here you see Mike Berry, the offensive line coach of Colorado, just going over the blocking adjustments of the last series.
Gundy straight ahead to Rashid, works the legs. He will have 3, now 4 yards. And right now, let's meet the starters, the Energizer starting lineups for the Oklahoma Sooners tonight. If there's one guy that has to be good tonight for Oklahoma to win, Kenyon Rashid, they've got to be able to rush the football. The wide receivers, Corey Warren, what a game he had against Texas last week. 9 receptions, 187 yards, and a good offensive line for the Sooners. Paul Moriarty, the left tackle, probably the most seasoned veteran of the group. Gundy with the play action, seals the linebackers, throws the pass. It is complete to Williams. Duell Brewer, I beg your pardon, out of bounds inside the 45-yard line as Brewer got free in the flat, good for 17. Let's meet the Buffaloes on defense. Leonard Renfro, number 99, one of 3 very fine down linemen for the Buffs. The linebackers, they may be as good as any in the country. Watch 56 tonight. You might think they had more than 156 on the field. And in the secondary, this is a hard-hitting Colorado secondary. Ronnie Bradford, the pros think, will play on Sunday. They really like him. Rashid. 2, maybe 3 yards in the vicinity of the 42-yard line. That's Leonard Renfro, big number 99, the gentleman we were just talking about. Mike, he had a really fine game against Missouri, the game that we televised last Thursday evening.
He's a solid defensive lineman. Larry Coker, the offensive coordinator of Oklahoma, told me that Leonard Renfro was somebody that he was concerned about in the matchups tonight.
We mentioned Oklahoma 3 downs and out the first time they touched the football, but now across midfield. The last 2 years that they played Colorado, they have scored on the opening series. Drills the pass, has it complete, and it could be enough for the first down at the 34-yard line. Gundy right on the money to Albert Hall.
When you see Oklahoma come to the line of scrimmage, all of a sudden Colorado has jumped into the 46 defense and man coverage on the outside. Now, on Albert Hall, you have 2 players really defending against him. You see the 2 defenders, one's inside and outside, but still a well-thrown ball by Cale Gundy to Albert Hall.
Mike, is that going to be somewhat of an automatic for Oklahoma when Colorado shows the bear?
Without a doubt. When they see the 46, they'll bring everybody in the block and have a 2-receiver route.
Flag goes down as Williams will be hit and pushed back at the line of scrimmage. A procedure call against the Sooners.
Got an interesting matchup tonight with a veteran quarterback in Cale Gundy against the kid Coy Detmer on the other side of the field. And it's a quarterback's game tonight.
Motion. Offense. Penalty decline. Second down.
A lot of decisions to be made tonight by the quarterbacks because both teams will jump into fronts, and the quarterback's decisions are going to be most important tonight on checking out of different things.
Good look at Coy Detmer right there, freshman from Mission, Texas, a true freshman. He has helped Colorado come from behind in a couple of games, but tonight his first start. And Gundy wants a timeout. So we'll take it with him. 7:52 left in this opening quarter. No score.
If atomic particles had been square instead of round, it probably wouldn't have happened. If it had been a wet cell instead of a dry cell, it's doubtful. And if the positive terminal had been negative, who knows? There might never have been a battery called Energizer or the Energizer Bunny. But luckily, everything happened just right.
Stay within the lines. The lines are our friends. Stay within. Stay within the lines. The lines are our friends.
Introducing the world's first V6 crayon.
Are you listening?
The Isuzu Rodeo. Built to go way outside the lines.
Something to drink, sir?
Yeah, make it a Bud Light.
Sorry, we just ran out.
Oh. Excuse me. Bud Light?
Try Flight 261 out of L.A.
Oh, thank you.
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Do you have a Bud Light?
Welcome aboard, sir.
Great. Where are we going?
ESPN's presentation of college football is being brought to you by Isuzu, makers of incredible four-wheel drives, and by Bud Light. If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light. We're back in Boulder, Colorado. Ron Franklin with Mike Gottfried and Adrian Karsten. We'll be getting a report from him shortly. The big guy down on the sidelines with us as usual. Gundy tries to set a screen, and wow, Woolfolk is just all over it.
Ron, give the credit to the Colorado defense because they baited Cale Gundy. You'll see all the movement at the line of scrimmage by Colorado, and they were trying to make it look like blitz. Cale Gundy checked off to the screen pass. They dropped back in zone and were able to get the sack. Ron Woolfolk and Brian Diet.
So, with a loss of 10 in the play, it's going to be 3rd down, and the line to make for the Sooners is the 24-yard line. 25-second clock, down to 1, but he got it away. But he will not get away from Leonard Renfro, number 99.
This is a matchup you need to look at all night. The offensive line of Oklahoma versus the defensive line of Colorado. Leonard Renfro just beats the block of the offensive guard, number 99. Cale Gundy never had a chance to get that ball off.
Figures back in a single safety. Signals for the fair catch, and he makes it at the 15-yard line. 36 yards in the punt, and as we catch our breath, it gives us an opportunity to meet the starters on offense for the Colorado Buffaloes tonight. True freshman, Coy Detmer, same last name as the Heisman winner. Some people say may even have more ability. Wide receiver, you won't get the argument here. Westbrook may be as good as there is in the country. And the offensive lineman, Jim Hansen, is the glue there. 2-year academic All-American, and he might be a Rhodes Scholar, or selected as one before this football season is over. Detmer on a short drop over the middle. It is intercepted by Oklahoma. Walker back to the 25-yard line.
Colorado came out on the first down to throw the football. They have a lot of confidence in Coy Detmer. This won't shake him, believe me. Drop back pass. He leaves the first receiver as first choice, and Darnell Walker just steps in front of the intended receiver for the interception. Another look of Darnell Walker. Look at him break on the ball. Just a great break on the ball by Darnell Walker.
Flags all over the place. Movement on both sides of the football. Penalty against Colorado. Tim Brando, what do you have for us, buddy?
Ron, the last 2 times Washington has gone into Eugene, they have lost. Well, Mark Bruner finds Jason Shelley here as he gets away from trouble. Watch this catch. Yes, it counts. 1:14 left in the half. 14-0 Huskies.
14-0 for the Huskies. They seem to find a way out of harm's way. By the way, he is now the starter.
They're going to reverse this call also.
Offense.
See the Oklahoma line set. Look at the left guard. Just move a little, which drew the defensive line. The penalties on the left guard, Broderick Roberson.
So it's a 1st and 15. Pass over the middle is complete to Brady. And he will have the first down at the Colorado 14-yard line.
What makes this play, Ron, is just a little cheap fake by Cale Gundy. Watch his little fake to the tailback. That holds the linebackers long enough for Ricky Brady, number 86, to just curl behind. Here's a second look. Cale Gundy throws the ball right into the tight end, number 86, for a big gain.
Brady had some injured ribs that he suffered against Arkansas State. He took a pretty good shot there, but seems no worse for the wear. 2 tight end alignment for Oklahoma. 1 setback, 2 wide receivers. Pass looking for Williams over the middle. It is intercepted. Hudson will be tackled by Gundy.
Oklahoma tried to split the coverage. They put Ernest Williams, number 20, in motion, then tried to go down the field to him, but just a poorly thrown ball. Chris Hudson picks it off, and then with good yardage back, Cale Gundy's just trying to buy some time back there. And then he makes the tackle and knocks Hudson out of bounds. Here's another look around, just threw off the back of his foot, and you see Brady was knocked down.
Detmer's going to go on top. Intercepted by Oklahoma. Darnell Walker, his second.
When you have a turnover, sometimes you try to go for the quick strike. Little hitch and go. Darnell Walker, number 28, just sits back again and gets his second interception. Tried to go to Eric Mitchell, number 4, on the takeoff route. Just like a punt, the way I look at that. Coy Detmer gets the air one out, and they're back on the about the 14-yard line, so it's just like a punt.
Also, the last 2 passes that Detmer has thrown have been interceptions, and although it is a punt, now you have to worry a little about his confidence, don't you, Mike?
I don't, not him.
Williams, 5, 10, counted off at 13 yards as Hudson will push him out of bounds. You know, the interesting thing about it is Walker's got 2 interceptions. Hudson has 1 and actually should have 2 because he should have gone for a touchdown, the one he dropped on that second series.
Oh, you're right, Ron. And you mentioned something at the beginning of the broadcast, too. Both these teams are after each other. I mean, there's not any love lost in this football game. There's a lot of talking going back and forth, and energies are running high.
John Knutson just limped off the field for the Buffaloes. Reserve outside linebacker. Henry with a running play, and Ernest Williams will weave his way across the 30. Beekert, number 19, there to make the stop.
If you want to have success against Colorado, you have to run the football. You're going to see Greg Beekert, number 19, the linebacker, just shadow the running back, Ernest Williams, and just lets him come to him and makes the tackle. But you have to find a way to run the ball to keep them honest on defense.
Right now, he's averaging just under 12 tackles a ball game, 11.8. Greg Beekert. Gundy. Rashid to the 38-yard line, and I'll tell you from the spotting across the way, he's going to have the first down. Woolford and Dwayne Davis defensively.
Well, again, what Colorado did on that play was show them a blitz, then drop out and play heavy zone coverage. Cale Gundy took the back out of the backfield. Kenyon Rashid, number 33, just a heady play by the veteran quarterback.
Clock runs with 4 minutes and 30 seconds left in this opening quarter. No score. Had some pretty good body blows delivered in this one already. Mickey, and he will have a first down as he comes out to the 49. Joey Mickey, 6'5", 274.
If I'm a strong safety, I'd want no part of this guy.
Watch Cale Gundy drop out as he sets up for the pass. You see him back up. That gives him a good view of the both defensive sides, the right and left. That's why it's so difficult to trap him. He's able to dump the ball off to the big tight end, Joey Mickey. A lot of quarterbacks turn, Ron, to one side or another. If they're right-hander, they'll turn to their right and set up, and they have a little blind side on the back side. When you back the quarterback out like Oklahoma does, he sees both sides.
Well, the Sooners now with back-to-back first downs. So the Sooners have no points to show for it, but in the early going of this first quarter, mentally they have to say, hey, we can move the football against a very good defense.
Well, if it was a fight, they would have won the first couple rounds here on points, but they're still not in the end zone.
Running play, maybe for one. Ernest Williams tripped up by Beekert at the line of scrimmage. Here's an example of what I'm talking about, Mike. That's 16 rushing plays. Oklahoma now 76 yards. Colorado total of 35 yards on 7 rushes.
No, I agree. They've had the better of the first quarter. They've been able to establish a little bit of a running game, which will open their play-action passing game.
And, of course, Scott Blanton, who you're looking at right there, the place kicker for the Sooners, hoping that he gets an opportunity to help his club out. His longest this year is a 52. Short drop, and he is down. Brian Diet.
When you try to get to the quarterback, you try different fronts sometimes. Colorado, look at all 3 defensive linemen there trying to cover the center and both guards so that there's only a single block. Watch the offensive line of Oklahoma. That means everybody's singled up. And Brian Diet, number 89, comes free. There's no way you can help the center and the guard with the 46 defense. Nice call by the defensive coach, Mike Hankwitz.
Third down, the line to make, Colorado's 41. And they go running play. Williams breaks it to the outside. Good open field stop, and I'll tell you, because of that tackle by Bradford, Mikey's going to be denied the first down by about a yard.
Well, I think with a freshman quarterback on the other side of the field, you might go for this. You have to go for this because Coy Detmer started out a little shaky, and I think this is the time you go for the football, or go for the first down. We'll see what Oklahoma's going to do. They're going to punt.
Brad Riddell.
They're going to try to put the freshman in the hole unless they fake it here.
Figures standing back at his own 10. He'll let this one go, and it's off the side of his foot. They're going to spot this one out at the 14-yard line. We'll take a break.
The new Isuzu Trooper has been completely redesigned to include a new suspension system.
Honey, pothole.
I see it.
Making for a smooth, quiet ride on the road as well as off. Of course, these days, what's the difference?
Sometimes being a Heil dealer is no fun. Ask Henry. He'll tell you that a Heil furnace is so dependable, once he installs one, he may never see it again. That's why Henry always takes time to visit his old friends, even if all he does is say hello. Heil, it's dependable year after year after year.
Win a trip for 2 to the Thrifty Car Rental Holiday Bowl, including 5 days at the San Diego Hilton Beach and Tennis Resort. You'll see a great game, visit the San Diego Zoo, and drive away in an exciting 1993 Chrysler Concorde. To enter, mail your name and address on a 3x5 card to this address, or get an entry form at any Thrifty Car Rental location, or select Monday editions of USA Today. Round-trip air transportation provided by Continental Airlines. Leading Heisman hopeful Marshall Faulk leads San Diego State's ground attack against Air Force next Saturday on ESPN.
Only 1:50 left in this opening quarter, and still no score between the two. The story of this ballgame so far has been turnovers by both clubs. As you look at Mike Hankwitz, the defense coordinator for the Buffaloes, and take a look at those numbers, Mike.
They're 103rd in the nation, so they're not taking advantage of the turnover situation.
Rashawn Salim in the ballgame at running back. Gets the handoff, trips over his quarterback's foot, and let's go to Tim Brando.
California on the move. Dave Barr. A 13-yard strike to Sean Dawkins. California leads USC by a score of 10-6 at games at the half.
Ron, you talk about Michael Westbrooks. That John Dawkins may be one of the best receivers in the country for Cal also. Big, tall receiver out there for the Cal Bears.
Goes in motion away from the line of scrimmage. And that last play just got tangled up with his quarterback's feet. Wanted the pass to go to him. They had the zone cleared out because the linebacker had not gotten over to help, and it was underthrown.
Coy Detmer started the game with a lot of success with the short passing game, and then he's thrown a couple interceptions, and there had to be a bust in the pattern on that play because Salam was open and did not look for the football. The Detmers have something different in their blood. Let me tell you something. The coach's kid, he's not going to go in the tank.
3rd and 10 for the Bucs. Pressure from the outside. Pass is thrown complete and tackled, but a flag is down, and Oklahoma is going to be marked for roughing the passer as Detmer took a shot to the head just as the ball was delivered.
Well, Ron, it's interesting because they brought the safety, Drew Chrisman, number 24. They're trying to show the young guy a lot of perception.
Roughing the passer.
Exactly right. 15 yards. Exactly right on the call, Ron. Drew Chrisman, number 24, is going to come off the corner at the top of your screen. Coy Detmer sees him, and then you see the hand go to the head, and that's the call. And a costly call.
Boy, they had him stopped. Oklahoma would have gotten the ball in good field position. Last week against Texas, it was a roughing the kicker penalty that opened the door, and then an unsportsmanlike call.
And you can't have those penalties. Tom Hayes, the defensive coordinator, is changing up coverages and blitzes on the young freshman quarterback to give him a lot of different looks to try to confuse him.
Salam again in the ball game at running back. The freshman from San Diego, 6 feet, 200 pounds. Well, the fans have been anxious to see a lot more of him. And a timeout has been called with 39 seconds left in this opening quarter, and we'll take it with him.
It's the Dodge factory authorized clearance. Get 1,000 cash back on a luxurious Dodge Dynasty. Dynasty, list price under $14,000 after cash back. Compare a Dodge Dynasty to any luxury car you can buy, and you'll find Dynasty a better value.
It's the final closeout on all 92 Dodges. See your Gold Star Dodge dealer today.
I've been a Firestone customer for 10 years. I used to go to the other stores, you know, the ones I mean with the unbelievable deals, but I got tired of the gimmicks and the hassles, and I bet you have too. So do what I do and take your car to Firestone. Firestone has a price match guarantee and many tire brands to choose from. Your car will be serviced by ASE certified technicians using computerized, state-of-the-art equipment and backed by the best nationwide warranty in the business.
From tires to service, we have it all, we do it all. Firestone.
Having trouble finding Speed Week for the month of October? Catch us every Wednesday at 11 o'clock Eastern. Speed Week, the motorsports coverage you deserve.
You've got the need for Speed Week. ESPN brings you a new way to look at sports when you can't get to your TV. The ESPN Radio Network. Watch for us this weekend on the radio.
No score with 39 seconds left in this opening quarter. And let's go down to Adrian Karsten. What do you have for us, Adrian?
Oh, Ron, something I picked up earlier here by Coy Detmer. When he comes to the line, I've heard him call a couple of times 90, check 5, 90, check 5. And it's pretty impressive for a freshman because what I think he's doing is calling maybe a running and passing play in the huddle and then checking off at the line.
Okay, we'll keep an eye on that as they throw the swing pass. Salam going to be hit and knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Scrambling for the football, but the official saying that it was down at the 35. Coates along with Cedric Jones. Didn't know if we're going to see Jones tonight. He's been having some problems with a neck sprain.
Ron, Adrian's exactly right. A lot of times you'll give the quarterback a running play and a passing play, and then you'll go up and you'll give him a design look, like it may be the front that he checks out to the quick pass, or if he sees what he wants in a run, he'll go to the run.
To Westbrook, and he breaks the tackle. Westbrook gets 9 more yards after he catches the ball. Coates finally makes the stop. And that is the end of the opening quarter. It's a gain of 21 for the Buffaloes. We'll be right back.
The national debt. It is a massive storm that is clouding America's future. An ill wind that is destroying jobs. It is a debt so enormous that it will take 1/3 of the federal income tax collected this year just to pay the interest. $199 billion in interest that could be used to create jobs that will only be lost in the storm. When will it end? When we choose a candidate who understands that deficit spending is an irresponsible act of government, not an uncontrollable act of nature. A proven business leader who will work with the free enterprise system rather than play politics. The candidate is Ross Perot. The issue is the national debt. The choice is yours.
Alpha 1, this is Alpha 2. Enemy squad in open. Moving north on foot.
Sergeant, here's the latest intelligence report.
I'll post it right away, Sergeant. Sir, enemy position is confirmed at top.
Step off.
Army Reserve, Montgomery GI Bill, skill training and more.
Now you can play in the mud without being taken to the cleaners. Presenting the Isuzu Rodeo Lease. See your dealer for details. Right now, Isuzu's making it a little bit easier to maneuver through bad roads, mud, snow, and lone officers. Presenting the Isuzu Rodeo Lease. See your dealer for details.
Well, here I am saying goodbye to another Heil furnace. Heil is so dependable, I may never see this guy again. That's sad news for me, but great news for you. Here's some more good news from Heil. Call for a free brochure and find out about Heil dependability. Learn how heating and cooling systems work from the inside out. Call today and get the dependability of Heil year after year after year.
We are back to begin the opening of the second quarter. No score between the Buffaloes and the Sooners. And on first down, it's Salam. Salam will have a couple. Will be pushed back to the 45. It's Mike Coates. Well, we've mentioned his name a bunch already. Let's take a look at the Big 8 standings. This is how they are. Kansas with a come-from-behind win today, 2-0. And then Colorado, Nebraska, Oklahoma at 1-0.
And Oklahoma goes to Kansas next week.
Campbell coming into the lineup. David, a sophomore out of Oklahoma City. He's playing in that nose guard spot.
It's a 46 defense of Oklahoma. Now Colorado will check out.
Detmer drills the pass, has it complete, and Charles Johnson stretches the football out, and I believe is going to have the first down. Tim Brando, let's go to you.
The nights are getting longer and longer for Curly Hallman in Tiger Stadium. Pookie Jones of Kentucky scores. On the following possession, Jamie Howard throws an interception. The Big Blue on the LSU one as we speak in the first quarter.
So the Wildcats trying to get a roar of their own down in the Bayou country tonight. Donnell Leomidi, a freshman out of Pungo Pungo, comes into the ballgame. But the running play will go with Salam, and he will be stopped at the 34. And let's go back to Adrian Karsten.
Well, Ron, slight injury to number 92 nose guard Ricky Wren for Oklahoma, so he'll be back after the next series. But add to that, defensive end Cedric Jones with a neck, defensive end Joe Correa with an ankle, tackle Greg Wilkins with a shoulder, and probably the most significant, Reggie Barnes, your outstanding Big 8 linebacker with a knee, really puts a lot of the emphasis and onus now on the replacements like Trey Tippins to crank up the rest of this defensive unit.
Well, that's a great point, Adrian. Oklahoma ready to play on this one. It is the blitz again, picked up by Oklahoma, and he can score. It's Beavers. He will go the distance for 6.
Oklahoma with a blitz from the outside. Now, Coy Detmer turns his back to the blitz. Drew Crispin, number 24. Remember, I just talked a little bit ago about how Cale Gundy backed up. The turn by Coy Detmer, he never saw Crispin hit him. Never seen him come from the behind side.
The extra point is up and is good. 56 yards on that return by Beavers for the touchdown. We'll take a break.
How do you feel?
I feel great.
You feel terrible. You want to make some money? Okay. You feel terrible.
The New York Times calls Night in the City a lively, gripping foray into the urban landscape.
No can do. What's no can do? What's that, a Chinese appetizer?
Not since Raging Bull has there been such a performance.
This is it, man.
Gritty, intense, powerhouse performances from De Niro and Lang.
You want to kill me? I don't give a damn.
I'll bring you home, baby.
Night in the City, rated R. Exclusive New York engagement now playing. Starts Friday everywhere.
185 horsepower V6. Handling responsive to your touch. The 1993 Toyota Camry.
Taking the long way again.
I'll be home soon. Traffic's light.
Few cars actually move you. This is one.
This score hasn't changed a bit. Jimmy Harris, welcome back.
Seen Coach Green lately?
I never thought that man would retire.
He used to say, Harris, tackling is like life. Hit it head on.
Harris. Coach Green.
Coach Harris, only one beer has the taste as genuine as the people who drink it. Budweiser.
So, you got any advice? Harris, coaching is like life. Hit it head on.
ESPN's presentation of college football is being brought to you by Toyota and their full line of quality cars and trucks. Toyota, I love what you do for me. Welcome back to Boulder, and this crowd gotten a little quieter during the timeout as Blanton kicks it off. This is Mitchell, who falls down at the 1-yard line. Oh, my goodness. Talk about a favor you don't want to do for even an unfriend. The freshman now has to come in and look at this situation.
Let's take another look at the touchdown play. Earlier in the game, strong safety blitz by Drew Crispin, number 24, and he picked up a penalty. This time he comes from the backside, hits Coy Detmer in the back. Aubrey Beavers, number 56, picks up the fumble and gets 7 points on the board. Here's the mistake on the kickoff. Eric Mitchell, number 4, he extends himself to catch the football and just knee hits on the 1-yard line.
So the Colorado football team, for the most part, lining up in the end zone. And Detmer will go straight ahead just to pick up a little room to breathe. That's the first Oklahoma score after 3 Colorado touchdowns. So we talked about opportunistic or not, which these two clubs this year have been kind of Jekyll and Hyde with.
Well, they have to think turnover here again down here. You haven't pinned in inside the 3-yard line. And this is an offense that has to throw the ball down here. This is not a run offense to pound it out. They have to throw the football down here.
Warren hit at the line of scrimmage. He'll have maybe one. They're going to mark him at the 3. Mario Freeman, one of the first men to get there, along with Corey Wilson.
Now, as you look at a 3rd down play, 2 runs, feel like that they probably, Coy Detmer will look for Westbrook on this play, number 81, his favorite receiver.
Now Westbrook, along with Charles Johnson, coming to the bottom part of your screen. Detmer it to Johnson. Good for 15 yards.
Ron, good call and good coverage by Oklahoma. Oklahoma's in great shape here. It's just a two-receiver route. Charles Johnson on the outside is going to curl. Michael Westbrook goes in the flat. Now you see all the defenders from Oklahoma. There's 5 people in the secondary. Just a good throw by Coy Detmer.
Warren goes in motion, so nobody behind Detmer. Pass over the middle is caught by the tight end, Faria.
Les Steckel told me yesterday at practice, Christian Faria, he tried to make him a wingback, but he said he's the heart and soul of our offense. Great hands and great effort, and you just viewed that, the great effort on that reception.
Christian Faria is a sophomore from Northridge, California, 6'4", 230. Detmer hit just as he throws it. It is intercepted by Walker, his third of the night, and now a flag has come down late. Back behind the quarterback.
This is going to be an interesting call. And I think it's on Aubrey Beavers.
It was Chrisman, I beg your pardon, 24, who made the pickoff rather than Walker.
Chrisman's everywhere here tonight. 2 strong safety blitzes.
The foul was a dead ball foul. Roughing the passer. It's Oklahoma's ball. 15-yard penalty and first down.
Let's look at the hit on Coy Detmer by Aubrey Beavers. Here's a little fake. Right side of your screen, number 56 just passes through the block of the running back, and then a little extra mud wrestling there at the bottom. Here's the interception by Drew Chrisman, and they're saying now the penalty was a dead ball foul, so Oklahoma gets the football 15 yards back.
Well, we talked about Chrisman off the top of the telecast tonight, and the fact that he was the big hitter on that defense. He also was drafted in baseball, so a big hitter in a couple of sports. But he's had the 15-yard penalty on the blitz, then the hit off the blitz, and the fumble recovery for a touchdown for Oklahoma, and now an interception. The 4th Colorado turnover. Mike, I would love to, not to conjecture here, but the penalty being taken from the spot of the foul and back to the 42, I would love to know how they came up with a post-play foul, though.
I think it was after the interception what they're viewing it. The ball is already intercepted when he starts twisting him on the ground. The problem with that penalty...
Normally, post-play is, okay, so possession change.
Right.
You're right. You're exactly right.
But the 1st and 25 is what hurts Oklahoma.
Gundy going to go on top. And it is complete to Corey Warren. Over the shoulder catch at the 16-yard line. And a flag is down back at the 45-yard line. Holding Oklahoma.
Holding, offense, 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Let's take another look at the roughing the passer call. See Aubrey Beavers get inside, now make the tackle. Now you see the official right there has not thrown the flag yet. There it comes now. Maybe he said something to him, Ron. That's the only thing I can figure there when the flag came out. A lot of talking been going on the field.
So the situation in this one, 10 more yards, stepped off against the Sooners. 7-0. OU leads with 11:05 left to play opening quarter. Bull hit in the backfield. Leonard Renfro will knock him down for another loss, and the Sooners are going to have about a 2nd down and 40.
Ron, they keep going back any further, they're going to have to go to Denver for the first down because they just keep going back. Here's the draw play. Leonard Renfro, number 99, gets so much penetration. Makes the play in the backfield.
didn't fool anybody. He is sacked for the 4th time tonight. Way back at the 36.5-yard line. Sam Rogers this time.
Ron, interesting about this football team, Colorado. They're in trouble and they're struggling a little bit on offense. And what do you ask to turn up the heat in the ball game? Your defense. They've got a great defensive football team. And now it's 3rd down, 47 yards to go. But the defense of Colorado is making a statement right now. But they've had some help with the penalties.
I'll tell you, if you own the amount of land here in Colorado that Oklahoma needs for the first down, you could get $250,000. You lot or not. Draw play. Rashid will take it out to the 48-yard line as Lindsey will finally put a stop on him, and the Sooners will punt the football. Now, the good news for Sooner fans is they got nothing off the turnover, but they're kicking with a wind. They stand to pin Colorado very deep again.
Right. I think that Colorado has to move Coy Detmer around in the pocket a little bit more, roll him out a little bit to try to get him away from the rush of the Oklahoma defense.
Adele's kick, good. And this one's going to be, just what I thought, out of the back of the end zone. That wind is still gusting pretty good. 52 yards is what he will be credited with on the kick. We'll be right back.
A 1993 Toyota 4x4. Nothing else comes close.
One of these engines was filled with Castrol Syntec, a new synthetic oil. The rest with conventional oils. They were then drained and started without oil to proof of point. You see, Syntec's unique molecular structure bonds to engine parts. Lab tests show it leaves a layer of protection far stronger than conventional oil. And if Syntec protects this well now, imagine if you leave it in. Castrol Syntec protects in ways other oils can't.
Just a hoot and a holler from Nashville's Grand Ole Opry. It's another place that's home to musicians from all over the world. It's Groon Guitars, where they sell rare and vintage instruments to everyone from Johnny Cash to Motley Crue. So if you go, remember, bring your pick and your Visa card. Because at Groon, you can take your licks on a 1939 Martin, but you can't take it home with American Express.
Yeah.
Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Leading Heisman hopeful Marshall Faulk leads San Diego State's ground attack against Air Force next Saturday on ESPN.
In what has been a very rapidly moving football game, 7-0, Sooners on top. Mike, following that last turnover in the 15-yard penalty, 5 Oklahoma plays went for losses totaling 37 yards. So minus 37, add the 15 for the penalty, they went 52 yards the wrong direction. And you made the point during the timeout. Boy, they had a great opportunity to pick up points after that turnover. Lamont Warren straight ahead. And Tim Brando, what do you have for us?
The LSU Tigers in desperate need of getting their offense on track. Look on the play-action fake, Jamie Howard to Wesley Jacobs, who, by the way, has caught a pass in the past 15 consecutive games. Tigers down 3. That game has moved to the second quarter.
Well, they're getting that loosened up. On the basketball court, those two, I imagine, will be pretty heated as well, Tim. You know they will. You know, I wish the NCAA hadn't made that rule. They should be practicing basketball right now. The 15th has gone by, and you haven't heard a thump yet, have you?
Nope. There are a few thumps out here tonight.
Warren to the short side of the field and stopped just short of the 30-yard line. It's Darius Johnson. He's a freshman out of Terrell, Texas.
Instead of basketballs bouncing, they've been bodies.
Well, I'll tell you.
These two teams are after each other tonight.
It started from the get-go. The flip of the coin. All of a sudden, the two teams came down the tunnel. Ralphie made her appearance, made the full lap. And then all of a sudden, we looked in the middle of the field. We're saying, this is a penalty, guys. You can't do this. And they almost went after each other. Third and short. Little counterplay. Warren, and he will not have it. Coach number 41. The first man to get there and make the hit, and then a lot of help from his friend. Mario Freeman as well.
You have to credit the Oklahoma defense. They're playing without Reggie Barnes tonight, who may be their best player on defense. So when you lose your star player, everybody has to turn it up a notch. Look at the penetration they get. Mario Freeman, number 44 on the tackle.
Mitch Berger averaging 46.7 yards per kick. Line drive into the wind. And this is Brewer. Back to the 21. Flag comes down at the 32-yard line. 50-yard kick into the wind, and he gets 10 on the return. Well, tonight's Toyota Leadership Award winners this week are from University of Oklahoma fullback Kenyon Rashid. He carries a 3.06 grade point average in communications and speaks to youth groups in the Oklahoma City area. And from Colorado, it's linebacker Greg Biekert. He's a graduate student. He got his degree in marketing with a 3.0 average. And in the community, he speaks to youth groups and is a member of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Toyota, proud to donate $1,000 to each school's General Scholarship Fund on behalf of these athletes. And our congratulations go to both of them. So the 15-yard penalty stepped off against Oklahoma, and they will scrimmage from their own 18-yard line. Thus far, rushing yardage, Oklahoma 20 yards out of 100 in total offense. Colorado 25 out of 107 in total offense. Rashid, as a flag comes down, and that was thrown by the umpire, and he's the man responsible for watching the offensive and defensive lines. Renfro is there to make the stop, and it's going to be offensive holding against the Sooners.
Well, if you're on the Oklahoma sideline right now, you just got to get your players together, gather them together, because penalties are killing you in this football game. It's tough enough getting 10 yards on 4 downs when you have to start adding 15 more and then 15 more onto that.
Clarence James with the headset on, closest to the camera. Wide receiver coach who Gary Gibbs brought in, and I think, is he not the first wide receiver coach that Oklahoma's ever had in full-time situation?
Since Gary Gibbs, first-time wide receiver, because now they throw the ball to him a little bit more, so they want somebody out there watching them all the time, but he's a very, very solid football coach.
Clarence, a good fellow, have known him for a long time, and he has a young son named John, who may be better than all of us in this industry by the time he graduates from college. He wants to be a TV announcer, and he's going to be a good one. Ernest Williams straight ahead, and not much doing there. Leonard Renfro again, and now here come markers all over the place.
And now a lot of finger pointing to who this call is going to go against. This has been a problem from the start of the game, where officials have tried to get the talking and the squaring off under control.
Dead ball. Personal foul. Defense. Automatic first down.
Take a look at Deion Figures. He's working against Hall, number 1.
There's the contact. Keep squaring off each other. There's the late elbow. I think a pretty good call.
So 15 yards now marked off against the Buffaloes, and that carries with it an automatic first down. Clarence James talking to Hall and probably trying to calm him down a little bit, saying we don't need you. What you did was right. We don't need to get in a fracas. Let them get the penalty. Gundy to Rashid. To the 35, and still on his feet across the 40 to the 41. Good heavens, what a good second effort. Bradford and Brian Diet finally brought him down.
Ron, when I had the Texas Tech-Oklahoma game, I just was amazed at Kenyon Rashid, number 33. He has a great eye fullback, but has great hands. Has the hands of a basketball player. Greg Brown, the defensive backfield coach of Colorado, said he's like a Coke machine rolling down the hill.
You're playing against a football team tonight that is a very sure tackling football team in Colorado, and you could see the tacklers just spilling off of him. that pocket. Well, Hall was the closest man to it. And let's go back to Tim Brando.
Ron and Mike, USC, I think you would agree, is one of the better teams that does not have, well, has several blemishes on its record. But Rob Johnson here finds Bradford Banta, USC's first lead in this game against Cal. It comes early in the third.
Good ball game. You saw Cal against Kansas a couple of 3 Thursday nights ago. And as you had mentioned, Cal is a very good football team. The Pac-10 conference just could be the best conference in the country this year so far.
I think with the SEC and the ACC, I think you're looking at the 3 best, in my opinion.
7-0 our score. 5:36 left until halftime. And the situation for the Oklahoma Sooners is a 2nd down and 10 for their own 41-yard line.
Ron, I might add, this is not a bad one we're at tonight either.
No. There's some guys at Lincoln that are always in the middle of the fray. And some other clubs that have had some problems in recent years that have now shown great improvement.
As the 46 defense, so Gundy will check out.
Quick pass, and it is picked off by Beaker.
Greg Brown, the defensive backfield coach, has got Greg Beaker, number 19. He's going to be on inside. They're doubling up the outside receiver. Cale Gundy is checking off. See number 19? He's running right to the inside. That was a pre-planned defensive call for Greg Beaker to double on the inside. That was a defensive call that resulted in that interception. They knew what the checkoff was going to be of Cale Gundy. He was going to try to throw the short slant. Great call by the defense of Colorado.
And now, Mike, Colorado wants a timeout. So we'll take it with them. 5:28 until halftime, and the Buffalo threatening to tie this one.
For the finest in diamonds, gemstones, and custom jewelry, there's no place like the International Diamond Center. Why? Because we bring the finest diamonds direct from the mines to you. We're suppliers of quality diamonds to wholesale and retail jewelers across the country. And now our showrooms are open to you. We have the area's most complete selection of fine jewelry at the lowest prices. Direct from the mine prices, guaranteed. International Diamond Center, Winter Park, International Drive, and our new store on Highway 436 in Altamont Springs.
At the International Diamond Center, we dig diamonds.
You going out tonight?
Why not?
Do you want to have fun tonight?
Why not?
The Why Not Lounge, Altamont's premier high-energy nightclub. Your place for fine food and drink. Conveniently located within the Holiday Inn, Altamont Springs. So whenever you're looking for entertainment with a touch of class, just say...
Election year, the Iowa caucus was held in North Dakota at Jenny's Cafe. The California primary was held on a farm in New Jersey. And Bud Monroe hosted the Democratic National Convention at his barbershop. Wherever you live, your local cable company is bringing the most extensive election coverage in history to your town. So you'll be better prepared to vote for the next president, who will be sworn in January 20th at the home of Charles and Nellie Sparks.
Maybe you ought to make one of them cream pies, Nellie.
So we're back. Our situation, Greg Bickert with the interception return inside the 10-yard line. And that's Lamont Warren, the lone setback behind Coy Detmer. Ball is fumbled. It's on the ground. Colorado has recovered the fumble. And of course, Ryan Stoltenberg is a redshirt freshman, the center, and Coy Detmer is a true freshman. So, Mike, as we talked about last week in the Missouri game, when these two combine, they have to be one of the youngest tandems in the country.
Oh, there's no doubt, Ron. There's no doubt. I think what Colorado has to look to do here is roll Coy Detmer out to the right and look for the tight ends. Bring the tight ends across, use a little crossing route, try to get him on the corner.
just outside the 1. Drew Chrisman making the stop for Oklahoma.
Colorado with a two tight end offense. It's going to run the tailback counter play. Look at the 2 linemen pulling in front. Lamont Warren working for the extra yards. Drew Chrisman, 24, makes the tackle. Look at Lamont Warren just driving hard to try to get to the goal line.
James Hill comes into the lineup. He will be at fullback, number 33, with Lamont Warren in the backfield. Fumble the snap from center. Oklahoma has recovered. Aubrey Beavers. Colorado turnovers in the first half. That is unbelievable.
From behind the quarterback, Coy Detmer. See the snap? It looked like it never got to his hands. Just a bad snap. Control between the center and quarterback.
You know what? And for people sitting at home, they think that has to be one of the easiest things to take place. And we've proven here tonight it certainly is not. Rashid straight ahead. Will go for maybe a half yard, and that's about it. In fact, tonight Colorado has put some adventure in that center snap to the quarterback.
Well, youthful inexperience in both the center position and the quarterback position. You have an offense where you're throwing the football. Bill McCartney talking to both freshmen. All Bill's trying to do is just settle them down a little bit because it's a long football game. 3:54 still to go in the first half.
So the 2 freshmen with their heads together, you can see Coach McCartney patting the palm of his hand as Gundy will turn around, and he is going to call a timeout. The 25-second clock was down to 2. Timeout on the field. 3:42 until halftime. Oklahoma 7-0. For 3:42 left until halftime, but let's go down to Adrian Carson. Adrian?
Ron, I was right in front of Coy Detmer as he ran off the field. The remedy to that problem is real simple. He just doesn't have his hands up underneath the butt up into the crotch of that center far enough because he's so anxious to pull out of there.
Well, we'll take a closer look at it the next time Colorado goes on offense. Joel Brewer in the vicinity of the 10-yard line, and now it's 3rd down for the Oklahoma Sooners. And just taking a look at the clock, Colorado does have 1 timeout left. And you wonder, Mike, if they might use it after this play to stop the clock, should they stop the Sooners, because they stand to get decent field position.
I don't think they will, Ron, because I think they want to use it with the freshman quarterback. I think I'd prefer to say that if I hold him here to get the ball to have a timeout with Coy Detmer.
Chad Brown stepped right up into the hole and put an end to that play almost before it was started. Holding against Oklahoma.
Chad Brown, number 34, is going to work inside number 86, Ricky Brady. Don't know if that's the hold call. You see Chad Brown trying to rip the ball out of the running back's hands.
Penalty declined, 4th down. Colorado wants the football. As you watch Brown go off the field along with Marcellus Elder. A defensive unit for Colorado has had to work overtime tonight. Buffaloes with 10 men at the line of scrimmage. Will they come after it? Nope, they got the return on. Figures at the 50. 40 yards in the kick, 16 on the return. And let's go to Tim Brando. Timmy, what do you have for us?
Ron, California handed SC its worst loss in the Larry Smith era last year, 52-30. Here, a 20-yard pass from Dave Bard to Sean Dawkins gives the Golden Bears a 4-point lead over the Trojans early in the third.
Sean Dawkins strikes again.
Detmer with the play action, and they roll the pocket, just as Mike suggested. Faria, the tight end, inside the 20. 17 yards on the pass play.
The play action pass play for Coy Detmer gives him a chance to get outside the rush. Here's the fake, which holds the defensive rush. Now he sets up, there's the throw. It's a good route, nice throw by Coy Detmer.
Flag comes down, running play. Whoa, does Warren get hit by Mike Coates in the middle of the line? And now let's see what the marker's all about. Offside, Oklahoma.
Another critical penalty for Gary Gibbs and the Oklahoma Sooners.
Coates had just turned Lamont Warren upside down. There's not going to be any gain in the play, but now it is, as you see, 7 penalties for 70 yards. Now it's going to be a first down and 5.
Ron, if Colorado's to get in the end zone here for 7 points, they're going to have to do it against the blitz of Oklahoma, which leaves a guy like Wes Brooks and Charles Johnson outside one-on-one. Now, if they give Coy Detmer time, he has 2 excellent receivers to go to.
Westbrook at the 5 and then push back. That is enough for the Colorado first down. Clock shows 1:45 until halftime. Buffaloes trying to tie this one up.
One-on-one on the outside, Michael Westbrook. Now, I still think the bootleg again down here. The bootleg pass where he rolls to the right, bring the tight end across, something that he will be comfortable with down here.
Well, he's got 2 tight ends, Faria and Embry, 85 and 86. Warren goes inside the 5. They'll spot him at the 2, and it's Trey Tippins who gets a hand on him to trip him up.
When you run that play, Ron, now the coach upstairs needs to be looking to the field to see if the bootleg's open. So now we'll see if the coach upstairs feels like the bootleg's there.
Mike inside the 10. This is twice that Colorado has run that when Oklahoma has come up tight, bringing everybody to the line of scrimmage. That pass incomplete, and we have a flag thrown behind the quarterback, thrown this time to the referee. And it's going to be holding against the Colorado Buffaloes. In case you just joined us, the reason for the look on this man's face right here, if you see frustration, 5 first-half turnovers. His team has already been inside the 5-yard line. They fumbled the snap from center, and Oklahoma recovered it.
They're still in great shape, Colorado, to throw the ball in the end zone, and they still have 1 timeout. But they have to handle the blitz. They have not been able to handle the blitz down here.
So here's the situation. They have 1 timeout left, as Mike said. 52 seconds left. They're down 7-0.
Ron, keep your eye on number 24, Drew Chrisman. They bring him from the outside again.
It's knocked down at the line of scrimmage, and it's Trey Tippins, the senior from Snyder, Texas.
They brought the strong safety again. Drew Chrisman, number 24, left of your screen. They just have too many people to block on the blitz. Top of your screen, you're going to see 24 and 88 come in. 88 comes free. No one to block him. Deflects the pass.
Detmer, 12 of 18, 108 yards, and 3 interceptions. From the outside, pass from the end zone, overthrown and incomplete. It will be 4th down, Colorado. And Mike, just as you suggested, they brought the safety again.
That's something that Colorado's going to have to talk about at halftime. Bill McCartney's team, because they haven't handled the strong safety blitz. Drew Chrisman, And Tom Hayes on the other side, the defensive coordinator from Oklahoma, he can't sit back. He's just going to keep pressuring the freshman quarterback.
This is a 30-yard attempt by Pat Lotto. 7 of 10 this year. He missed it. Off to the right and no good. Well, be sure to get next Saturday's college football viewing off to the right start with College Game Day. It's all the previews and features that you could ask for starting at 11:30 Eastern Time. Then it's Big Ten action as the surprising Wisconsin Badgers travel to Bloomington, Indiana to take on running back Brett Law and the Indiana Hoosiers. Then at 7 o'clock, it's the College Football Scoreboard. That'll get you up to date on all the day's action. And at 7:30, Heisman hopeful Marshall Faulk continues his chase as he takes on Air Force. All of that next Saturday, right here on ESPN. Gundy will go down on one knee with 35 seconds left until halftime.
Now it's important for both teams as they go into the locker room to make adjustments in the second half. It's very clear the game plan of both defensive teams to pressure the quarterback. Both teams will make their adjustments at halftime. We'll see when we come out the second half who has the most success.
Well, Mike, you know, the defensive stars in this ball game on both sides of the football have been many. It's some offensive folks are going to have to look for stardom in the second half, particularly for Colorado, if you're going to maintain this Big 8 conference winning streak. And you see the defense of Oklahoma on the near sideline. Hands together. It is halftime. So let's take a break. Oklahoma, by way of a fumble pickup and return by Audrey Beavers, 7-0. The first half. First of all, confidence in a freshman quarterback. I know that Bill McCartney has a world of confidence in Coy Detmer, but he did not figure on 5 first-half turnovers.
Well, he didn't play very well in the first half. You're going to see this pass where he never sees the strong safety coming, Drew Chrisman. There's the bullseye on Coy's back. Chrisman comes from the backside, will hit him in the back, cause the fumble. Aubrey Beavers picks it up, and there's the 7 points that Oklahoma puts on the board. Now on the other side, Cale Gundy, the veteran quarterback, Colorado baits him into this coverage. Now he has one-on-one on the outside. He checks off to the quick slant, but Greg Biekert on the snap of the ball knows that he's going to go to the quick slant, and he has the receiver doubled. Now Deion Figures is on the outside. He's on the inside. Cale Gundy threw it exactly where Greg Biekert thought he'd throw it, picks it off. But Oklahoma held them. Colorado did not get in the end zone.
You look at Scott Blanton, who is about to kick it off to open this third quarter with his Sooners on top 7-0. The man that he is kicking to is a sophomore from Los Alamitos, California, number 4, Eric Mitchell. Mitchell will be driven 5 yards into the end zone. Well, here are the first half numbers, and for the quarterbacks, first of all.
Well, I think what Colorado has to do with Coy Detmer is take the pressure off of him a little bit. Get the ball to the running back, Lamont Warren, and try to establish a running game to take the pressure off him so he doesn't feel like he has to win this football game.
And the other numbers, and the one that jumps out at me that we both talk about, very bottom left, 7 penalties, 70 yards against the Sooners.
Has killed Oklahoma. If they didn't have those penalties, right now they'd be up by a couple touchdowns.
Detmer in the short drop. Pass is complete to Johnson, and he will have the Colorado first down. Mike, you know something that Johnson has a habit of doing after watching him 2 weeks in a row? He tries to stretch the ball out every time as he's going down. It's going to cost him before it's all said and done. It's too dangerous to do.
It could, and most of the time he really doesn't get the spot of moving the ball ahead.
Lamont, a sophomore from Inglewood, California. Had a shoulder injured last week against Missouri and only saw him early in the first half. Ball is blocked and right back to Detmer. That's a legal play, and he'll take it back to the line of scrimmage.
The Colorado offensive line that last year at this time was running the option. And pass protection has been a little difficult for them. Coy Detmer with a heads-up play of catching the football.
It was Aubrey Beavers who blocked it. So he now has a fumble recovery, an interception, a 56-yard fumble recovery for a touchdown, and a blocked pass. Detmer pass to his tight end, Faria, across the 35 to the 36. And let's go down to Adrian Karsten. Adrian.
Ron, I eavesdropped on the Colorado speech at halftime. Really surprised at no ranting and raving. Coach McCartney said, look, you're not denting, or they are rather not denting our defense. I have confidence in our offense. Look, this is our offense of the future. You guys just got to have confidence in yourselves. He's going to stick with Coy Detmer.
Adrian, that's a great point, and I'm sure that what he's trying to tell them is that age-old gun that they've had pointed at their foot, they need to point it at Oklahoma's foot. Third down, pressure from the outside, and this one is complete to Warren. Colorado will convert the situation as they'll take it to the 43. Wesley defensively.
I think the story of the first half has to be the Oklahoma defense. The fact that Reggie Barnes isn't playing, Joe Correa, the defensive lineman, is out. They have so many injuries. This defense really rose to the occasion in the first half and made a lot of plays.
7-0. Oklahoma leads. Early going third quarter. Boulder, Colorado, right here on the campus of the Colorado Buffaloes. What a great setting with the Rockies in the background, and they've already gotten some snow. The mountains look very inviting. That pass in and out of the hands, and wow, that's Westbrook that dropped the football, and he can't believe it. Westbrook is quite a target. 6'4", 210. Mike, and only a sophomore, there are going to be some people trying to get him to take an early lead, I'm sure, with his talents.
Tom Hayes, the defensive coordinator, says what you worry about Michael Westbrook is that he catches the 5-yard hitch, and the next thing he turns it into a 65-yard touchdown.
He's going to get a breather for a second as Caruth will come in replacing him, number 18. Play action, held the linebackers that time. Wide open is the tight end, and Faria really delivered a blow just as he caught the football. Coates will finish off the tackle.
Coy Detmer has success with this play again. This is the third time they've been able to run this play. He's able to get outside the fake, holds the linebackers, which opens up Christian Faria inside for the big gain. Misdirection, holds the linebackers.
1st and 10, Colorado. The Sooners getting a player on the field late. The play came right to him, and Cedric Jones went diving to make the tackle. He was just running on the field. He was at the hash mark as the ball was snapped, and the sweep came in his direction. Looked like the defense had a guy in motion.
Well, Cedric was in motion. He was coming from the bench, got on the field late, but they ran the ball right to him.
Oklahoma jumping all over the place on defense. Detmer under pressure. He's going to run. And he is inside the 35-yard line, about a yard shy of the first. Wilson will wrap him up.
Ron, the play never had a chance to develop because of the pressure that came from the outside of Oklahoma. It was a good jump. Aubrey Beavers comes inside, and a good block by the offensive tackle to block him around, and Coy Detmer stepped up in the pocket and picked up the running yardage.
Mike, it almost seems like an automatic. For teams that play the one back, the minute he goes in motion with no backs, defense is going to blitz you.
They're coming after him.
This time with the running play. Warren breaks off a tackle. He'll have the Colorado first down. Collier will get him. Chrisman upset with himself because he missed it.
Oklahoma had the right defensive call on. They brought Drew Chrisman again, number 24 on the blitz. Nobody picked him up. He just missed the tackle.
We talked about early in the ballgame getting that extra back in there on short yardage plays, and on that play, 33 James Hill. You might have noticed that he threw the paving block that helped Lamont Warren get the first down.
Now here's where you see if Colorado made the adjustments at halftime against the blitz.
Well, the 25-second clock was all the way down to 4, so Detmer called a timeout. We'll take it with him. 11:01 left in the third quarter. Oklahoma 7-0.
The 1957 automobile show, where you'll see the finest in
It all started 35 years ago. I'll never forget that day.
David. Gotta go.
It's funny, though. You grow up, raise a family, your priorities change. Of course, there are some priorities that never change. The trick is to make a decision now that you'll be happy with for years to come. When it's all said and done, I think it all goes back to that day 35 years ago.
David, are you out there? Get your little behinds in there.
All over the world, there's a ritual that takes place right before bedtime.
And don't forget to wash behind your ears.
And for over 35 years, one faucet has helped more kids get away with it.
And you two better be clean.
Or not. Delta, the way water is brought to life.
ESPN's presentation of college football is being brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, builders of fine automobiles since 1886. And by the card, the American Express card. Don't leave home without it. Welcome back to Boulder. Ron Franklin, Mike Gottfried, and Adrian Karsten as you get a look at true freshman Coy Detmer from Mission, Texas. James Hill, and he is wrapped up by guess who? Drew Chrisman. You know, we always pick players of the game for both teams, and Oklahoma has got several guys that are fighting for who gets that award tonight. We may have to split it up.
Ron, you're right. Drew Chrisman has been very active. Now, he missed a tackle the play before, but he's not going to miss the tackle on James Hill this time.
Boy, Chrisman, Beavers, also Mike Coates has been in on a number of key plays. 7-0 if you just joined us. Oklahoma leads 10:24 left third quarter. From the backside, that's Beavers, and he will sack him. Second time that Oklahoma has gotten to Detmer, and the Sooners have a player shaken up.
Aubrey Beavers, a lot of the Oklahoma coaches compare him to Texas A&M's Quentin Corey out of last year's fame, who went on to the Indianapolis Colts. You see him coming. He tried to strip the ball away from Coy Detmer, but a good sack by Aubrey Beavers.
Aubrey is out of Houston Yates High School. That school has been somewhat of a factory for good college players for a long time. Detmer pass almost intercepted. Darius Johnson almost had the pickoff.
Ron, Oklahoma's been able to rattle the young freshman tonight, Coy Detmer, just with different looks, different blitzes, different people coming, and the offensive line of Colorado has not been able to protect him.
Mitch Berger, who, as I told you, averages 46.7 his first punt tonight, 57. We'll see how well he can pooch kick here, because he's going to be receiving this snap just beyond midfield. Colorado's got men inside the 10, and look at this, down at the 5, just beyond the 5-yard line. And let's go back to Tim Brando. Tim, what do you have for us?
Ron, California's quarterback Dave Parr will find Sean Dawkins. This is his third touchdown reception of the day, and I know it's not basketball season yet, but watch this along the sideline. That is a Baryshnikov act, baby. It's 27-13 Bears.
Baryshnikov played for him.
I knew you were going to say that. I was going to tell Timmy, don't say that, because now we'll spend the next 5 minutes with Gottfried whispering to me, who's Baryshnikov?
He must play for somebody on the coast.
Played for the Steelers.
Oh, I see.
Beavers, we mentioned that he's one of the guys that has had such an exceptional night for the Oklahoma Sooners. Got a touchdown to his credit on a fumble recovery, an interception, also has a sack. Big opening, 5 yards, has 10, and Williams off to the races out across the 25-yard line. Dion Figures makes the stop, and Mike Gottfried, explain what happens here.
Ernest Williams is an interesting player, and he really causes problems for the defense because he can line up as a tailback, but he also shift out as a receiver, so you have to really play him both ways. Just a very good hold by the offensive line. Ernest Williams capitalized on it, but I believe it's going to come back.
So the penalty takes it back to the 3-yard line. So we race a run that took the ball out over the 25-yard line. Illegal procedure against the Sooners, very costly. Rashid and the fullback being hit by Chad Brown and pushed backwards. Regardless of the fact that that play came back, I have a feeling that Mike Hankwitz is going to have a good talking to with his ball club because Davis missed a tackle on that. Colorado, uncharacteristically, has missed a lot of tackles in this ball game.
Very sound on defense. Gary Gibbs told us the other day, you see Mike Hankwitz, the defensive coordinator, that this defense of Colorado is dominating like Washington's or like Miami, and he felt like it was like the 85 defense at Oklahoma, that they dominate the game.
Official timeout is being called. They brought another football in for the sideline. No place for Brewer to go that time. Diat, the first man to step up into the hole to make the hit. Then you could see 56 roll for it. And it's going to be 3rd down Sooners. The line to make is the 16. Oklahoma 7-0.
Ron, you just have to keep going back. Oklahoma just keeps hurting themselves with penalties. I mean, that all night is stop drives and put them in tough situations to overcome.
Broken up the middle, will have the first down, +5. Lindsey finally grabbed a hold of Brewer, but the senior from Lawton will move the sticks again.
Cale Gundy with a check off against that same front, but instead of throwing this time, gets away with a run. You see the defensive players for Colorado were in pretty good shape, Ron, to stop that play. Missed tackles again. Duell Brewer, number 23. That was a big game.
Shannon Pavel, who missed that one, number 92. As you look at the rushing yards, 43 and 23. Two very difficult defenses to run against. Gundy. He'll head to the sideline. Chad Brown hot in pursuit after him.
Ron, he's an interesting story. I talked to him earlier in the season, and he was telling me when he was being recruited, he went to Alabama on his first visit. Said he had a great visit, and then Homer Smith, the quarterback coach, left, and Bill Curry decided to leave. So he went home, told his mom, so I'm a little disappointed. Went to Clemson on the next visit. Said, I really like Clemson, but then Danny Ford and Jack Froh left, and so 2 visits, 2 staffs left, and he wanted to go to UCLA, but they were not going to take any quarterbacks, so it came down to OU and Notre Dame. And, of course, Larry Coker, who coached his brother, went to Oklahoma, and he's very happy to be a Sooner.
That was the end of that story. Going to go up on top. Warren, he's got it. Foot race. Warren tripped up by Dion Figures inside the 20. And the first thing we look for, no laundry on the field. 1st and 10, Oklahoma.
Corey Warren came out of high school football. He played defensive back and wide receiver. Coaches feel he has a defensive mentality. He's a tough receiver. Over-the-shoulder catch. Avoids a tackle. Dion figures number 2, stays with it, and makes a desperation tackle to stop the touchdown.
57 yards. Under pressure, going to be sacked by Beaker.
See Mike Hankiewicz calling the blitz. Greg Beaker, number 19, is going to come on a blitz. Kenyon Rashid, number 33, was responsible for him, but he was going to try to release on the pass and didn't pick up Greg Beaker.
Rashid didn't see him until he was past him, and he gave him the matador move, didn't he?
Ole.
Brewer hit behind the line of scrimmage and will be knocked down for a loss. Greg Lindsey is a man who caught him around the ankles. And look, all of a sudden, it's going to be a 3rd down, Oklahoma. And following the reception, they're looking at a 3rd down and almost 15, Mike.
The way Gary Gibbs has to think about this now is the way his defense is playing. The 3 points will be big. Now, you still want to try to pick up the 1st down and, of course, the touchdown, but you don't want a mistake here. You want to you want to be able to try to get the 1st down, but also a chance to kick that field goal.
3rd down, the line to make, the Colorado 7. Chad Brown puts it into the running play as the Sooners play it conservative and just what Mike Gottfried was talking about. They're going to send Blanton on. Well within his range, and he's kicking with the wind has subsided some here in Boulder. So this is well within his reach. 52 his longest, and let's call this one a 37-yard attempt. Plenty of distance, and he is good. So let's take a timeout. 4:55 left in the 3rd period. Oklahoma 10 and Colorado nothing.
Bud Dry is one beer that drinks easy like a light and has real draft taste. So why not come around to something refreshingly different? Try Bud Dry.
I don't need some fancy cologne to tell me I'm a man. I use Skin Bracer. It smells great, but it also cools and tones my skin. Confidence is very sexy. Don't you think? Skin Bracer Aftershave.
By men. I saw those lights, and even though I was only 5, I knew something terrible had happened. First, I saw the cars. They were, I don't know, mangled. My father told me not to look, but I had to. I remember seeing this little boy. We made eye contact. I could see the fear in his eyes. It's something I'll never forget. No, I don't drive a Mercedes to impress my friends.
We've been under trickle-down economics for 12 years. Just keep taxes low on the wealthy and see what happens. Well, I tell you what's happened. Most Americans are working harder for less money. Unemployment's up. Healthcare costs are exploding. We are not doing what it takes to compete and win. I've worked hard on a different plan. Let's give incentives to invest in new jobs. Let's spend more on education and training. Let's provide basic health care to all Americans. Putting our people first. Rebuilding this economy. Making us competitive. If we do those things, we'll compete and win, and we'll bring this country back.
Leading Heisman hopeful Marshall Faulk leads San Diego State's ground attack against Air Force next Saturday on ESPN.
10-0 our score. As you look at Bradford on the near sideline, and he got himself caught in a tough situation on that last series. And the long pass to Corey Warren was the big one that led to the field goal. Blanton's kick. That's a knuckler. He's going to go back into the end zone. And Adrian Karsten with a special interview. Adrian.
Ron, our special guest is Bill Moreau, the athletic director here at the University of Colorado. Bill, Coach McCartney told his team in halftime he had great confidence in them. Well, things always have been so golden here at Colorado, especially in 1984, and Bill went 1-10. You showed great confidence in him.
Well, I think one of the things that I've learned through the years that a key to program success is confidence in your people and taking a long view, allowing your people to develop and build their programs, and that's really what we did in '84 when we extended Coach McCartney's contract.
May come back after this play, Bill.
Okay, Adrian, we will. We'll get right back to you. On first down with the running play. Wow, Warren has turned to flip, and Adrian, back to you.
Well, Ron, that looks more like the play from 85 and on, but he says the passing offense is the offense of the future. Well, the future is now, particularly with your schedule this year and next through the year 2000.
Well, that's exactly right. You can only look one game ahead at a time. We've got a great schedule this year. Next year is even tougher. We think to be able to compete that we've got to have an offense of the 90s, and so we've gone to the one back, and we're going to throw the ball a lot.
Coach of the U.S. ski team for 6 years. What are you doing here now?
Well, I'm a Colorado, and just haven't end up at the right place at the right time.
Complete to Charles Johnson, and they're going to spot him down just across the 30-yard line.
Your football coach, Ron, you like the ADs like Bill Moreau because he stayed with Bill McCartney.
No, you know, let me make a point. And by the way, Adrian, thanks so much for getting him because, you know, Gary Gibbs has been under so much pressure at Oklahoma. Now, I'm not going to tell the good folks in Oklahoma how to run their business, but Bill McCartney was 2-8-1, 4-7-0, 1-10, 7-5, and 6-6. He only won 20 ball games his first 5 years, but they stayed with it. Detmer will be sacked. And again, it is Aubrey Beavers who is there to make the sack. This is how the Buffaloes accomplished it.
Is that you saying Ole?
No, that was Adrian. So it paid off. The confidence in Coach Bill McCartney. 3 straight Big A titles for his ball club. Pass is complete to Westbrook. And let's go back to Tim Brando for an update. Timmy.
Fellas, Bill Curry got a contract extension last year after his team went 0-7 in the SEC. Here, Terry Samuels plows in from 2 yards out, and a team that's been winless on the road in this league, Kentucky leading on the road on the Bayou.
Big one for the Cats, up by 7 points, playing down at Baton Rouge, which the place has not always been kind to them.
No, and Curly Holm is playing with a lot of young players down there trying to rebuild.
Third down. You see the pressure from the outside. That time, Colorado picked it up, and there comes a flag. Westbrook was interfered with by William Schenkel.
Defensive pass interference. Automatic first down.
The interference call will be made on William Schenkel, number 8 in the white jersey. Let's watch the play. Over the back of Michael Westbrook.
William Schenkel, a senior out of Willow Ridge, which is just south of Houston. He had to give it the protest, which is what you have to do, but he came by way of Okmulgee on that. Oklahoma, 9 penalties, 88 yards. But the Sooners leading 10-0. 2:43 left in the third quarter. Detmer again over the middle. This time Embry, the tight end. And he takes it to the 46.5. Mike Coates is holding on.
We talked about Bill Moreau, the athletic director of Colorado. On the other side of the coin, you have Donnie Duncan, a former head football coach in college circles as the AD at Oklahoma, and has very solid control of that program and believes in Gary Gibbs that he's the coach for Oklahoma.
Pressure up the middle. Detmer gets by the first wave. Here comes Beavers, and he will get it. Wow. The 256s on defense. Woolfolk for Colorado and 56 Beavers for Oklahoma have just been phenomenal tonight.
Gary Gibbs told Aubrey Beavers before the game, without Reggie Barnes, you're going to have to turn it up a notch. Number 56 in the white jersey is turning up the heat. He's able to get off the block of number 72, Derek West, and then it's a foot race that he wins.
Third down, Colorado. Line to make is the 48 of Oklahoma. Here comes the safety blitz again. Pass is complete to Johnson. Charles Johnson, the senior from San Bernardino, California.
Ron, you're right. You saw the safety blitz coming in through Crispin, number 24, but Colorado picked it up. They blocked it this time and gave Coy Detmer the time to find his receiver.
Good look at Brian Stoltenberg there. He's a redshirt freshman out of Sugar Land, Texas. Actually played at Clements High School just south of Houston. And, of course, Coy Detmer is out of Mission, Texas. So a couple of Texas youngsters had to get together on the exchange from center tonight. As you saw the numbers on Detmer. Going to go long. Puts it up on top. Westbrook is there. Good score. Westbrook got Darnell Walker turned in a circle, caught it for the touchdown, and Berger tries to make this a 3-point football game. Kick is perfect. So we'll take a break. 54 seconds left. Third quarter, 10-7, Oklahoma.
It's the most innovative and exciting lineup in our history. Introducing Jeep and Eagle for 1993. See the technically advanced new Jeep Grand Cherokee and the sophisticated new Eagle Vision. Get a Cherokee Sport for less than you ever dreamed possible. Or jump into fun-loving Jeep Wrangler at a price like this. But whatever you do, don't miss the 93s at your Jeep and Eagle dealer today.
See your Florida, South Georgia Jeep and Eagle dealer.
Athletics has affected my life in positive ways. I think the concept of team can't be learned in any better way. I've seen a lot of guys who are good enough to get into college and thought they were good enough to get into pros, and so they weren't really concerned about their college education, and that's backfiring on them now. So I can't overemphasize how important your education is. There's nothing like it.
This message provided by the NCAA.
Westbrook on the sideline. Mike, could you read his rest? It looked like it said mercy. His 6th touchdown pass of the year. 7 tonight for 92 yards. Sooners will not return this one.
Colorado has had success with the bootleg play and hitting the tight end over the middle. But on this play, it's the wide receiver, Michael Westbrook, that Coy Detmer looks to get to. He's in pretty good coverage by Darnell Walker and then just leaves. And now Darnell Walker complained a little bit that he felt Michael Westbrook was pushing off. Here's Coy Detmer looking to Michael Westbrook all the way. Over the shoulder catch. Reaction of Coy Detmer.
Colorado's defense, Beekerts and Chad Brown combining to stop the run after only about a yard. Detmer, you could see his reaction after 3 interceptions in the first half, realizing that the fate could be very much different in the second half. He just had to have confidence and turn it around, and he did. His ball club back in it. And with his Colorado defense, it doesn't take a whole lot of points to put your case to rest. Going to be pushed out of bounds just shy of the 30-yard line by Dion Figures.
Cale Gundy's also made some good adjustments in the second half versus the blitz. Able to pick out the open receiver and pick up the easy throw.
9 seconds left in the third quarter. Oklahoma 10, Colorado 7. Third down. They need about 1.5 yards. Rashid Brewer, I beg your pardon. 50, 10, 5, touchdown, Duell Brewer. .72 yards.
Ron, they caught Colorado on the blitz. And there was nobody home in center field.
Couple of secondary folks, but all they could do is watch. Extra point attempt is up and is good by Blanton. And with that, the end of the third quarter with our new score, Oklahoma 17, Colorado 7. Walks to the sideline talking with Dion Figures following that long touchdown run by Duell Brewer. And the Oklahoma Sooners have quieted this crowd. Just moments ago, toward the end of the period, the crowd had really gotten back into it, but the home run, so to speak, of 72 yards quieted them again. Blanton's kick.
Larry Coker, the offensive coordinator, is going to catch Colorado in the defense, and there's 3 key blocks on this play. Kenyon Rashid, number 33, and the backside guard, number 62, Broderick Roberson, block Greg Beekert, and then it's all the way to the yard for number 23, Duell Brewer.
Brewer didn't waste much time once he got into the open field. He took it back toward the middle and took it in for the score. Ball is tipped and almost intercepted. Again, Aubrey Beavers.
Aubrey Beavers is making a statement tonight that he is one of the best outside linebackers in the Big 8, maybe in the whole country. Number 56 just starting to round into condition. Ron is a player. Sat out last year and is just getting better with every game.
Detmer, as a flag goes down, Fourier, the tight end, has it complete, short of the first down. But that has been thrown back at the offensive line as Mike Coates is there defensively. Holding Colorado.
Bill McCartney talked about the speed of Oklahoma. Concerned about their foot speed. He cut back practice 20 minutes each practice. He wanted his legs back. He wanted fast legs against this Oklahoma defense. And he used the term, we want to block them twice on every play. Well, the Oklahoma defense has just surrounded this Colorado offense tonight.
Second and 22. Detmer going up on top, and he's got Johnson wide open at the 50. Another foot race. Charles Johnson will score from 92 yards away. This place is still buzzing. Berger tries to make it a three-point game. High pass from center. It's good.
Coy Detmer with the takeoff pass play to Charles Johnson, and it's against Darnell Walker, number 28. I think there's a bust in coverage because it looked like Darnell Walker, number 28, was looking for help over the top from William Schenkel, number 8. The individual isolation, he just runs right by Darnell Walker. You're going to see number 8 come into your picture. Just outran the coverage. Reaction by Coy Detmer.
So, here are the numbers. Charles Johnson, 7 catches, 151 yards, and a touchdown. Now Detmer is 23 of 33, 307 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. And Mike, I want to make a point of one thing that happened just a moment ago in the extra point attempt. May seem small, but could be big in this ballgame. Duke Tobin is the holder, and he had to stand up almost to receive a high pass from center, allowing Colorado to convert the extra point. And now a 3-point game rather than a 4-point game.
Key play by Duke Tobin, who's another quarterback that's won games for this Colorado team, and he's a very good, solid quarterback.
Boy, this kick is going to go way on through the uprights. Tim Brando, we're rocking down here. What have you got?
In Baton Rouge, I've got a couple of defenses that can't stop offenses, Ron. Robert Toomer, one of the baby Bengals Mike Gottfried was mentioning, he takes off 30 yards. He's a true freshman. That ties the game at 17, but the Big Blue come roaring back. Damon Hood in from 2 yards out. Kentucky leading 24-17, still plenty of time in the fourth.
So the Wildcats holding on there. Our situation, 14:28 to play. Oklahoma 17-14. And I know the World Series started tonight, but I think we've had more home runs here in Boulder.
Okay, we got some noise here now.
Gundy whips his pass complete. P.J. Mills. Ball is loose. Rashid is after it. And Kenyon will make the recovery.
Ron, you're right. We've had more home runs in the World Series, but I guarantee you we've had more errors, too.
Yeah, I'll tell you, the pitcher's ERAs wouldn't be very good in this one.
A lot of knuckleballs in this game.
Williams comes into the backfield replacing Bull. Listen to this crowd. Ernest Williams picks up a block on the outside. Flag comes in at the 22-yard line as Bradford is the first man there to put the stop on him.
Officials have been busy tonight.
Well, another penalty against the Sooners. By the way, I've just been handed this note.
Offense, 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Illegal use of hands is the call, so the penalty pushes it back to the 11-yard line. And Michael, the touchdown pass play of 92 yards a moment ago is the longest pass play in Colorado history. interference going to be called against Colorado. Chris Hudson almost took his head off. And the reason for it, I believe it was Ernest Williams who was about to break free over the middle.
Ron, that's the college rule there because it'll go back to the line of scrimmage.
Defensive pass interference, 15-yard penalty, previous spot, first down.
Chris Hudson may have saved a touchdown by that interference. That goes all the way back to the 26-yard line. So really not a good play. You never want a pass interference play, but not a bad play on that one because they were out of coverage. They were in bad shape.
Could have had another near home run, at least extra bases on that one. So it does carry a first down. That's the rule we talked about last year several times. You'd like to see change.
Yeah, I don't like that rule at all because I think it really handicaps the offense.
Now here comes one flag and another flag from down inside. Beekridge and Brown there to step up and make the hit along with Elder.
Dead ball, false start offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
That's what the noise will do now that the fans are back in this ball game. Get a little jump start. Can't hear the cadence by Keo Gundy.
Keo looking over to get the signal from the near sideline, but the down will remain the same. Now the Colorado defense continues to ask the crowd to come on back and help it. And here they come again. On top, tip, and intercepted by Hudson.
That's the benefit of that college interference we just talked about a little bit ago. You give up a little penalty, and now you're back in shape. Deion Figures is going to get his hand on this. And then Chris Hudson just stretches out and becomes a receiver for the interception.
Third Oklahoma turnover. Buffaloes have 5. Gundy pumped once and then gets leveled from behind by Corey Wilson, the junior from Richardson, Texas. 4th sack of Gundy by Oklahoma tonight.
I want to talk again about the offensive line. When you switch from a option attack, one of the problems you have when you go to pass blocking is, Mike Berry talked about his linemen wanting to attack them right at the line of scrimmage like you do in a run, but you have to give some ground on that defensive front and pass protection.
Sooners go with a 4-2-5 defensively. Gundy, good protection. Pumps again. Now rolls the pocket. Beavers is down. Gets his pass away. That's T.J. Cunningham. And I'll give Detmer credit. He is just like his older brother. Has absolute ice water because he saw he was going to get crushed and still held on to the football to Schenkel hitting.
He bought some time because Aubrey Beavers was blocked and then lost contained. Coy Detmer gets some time, points where he wants his receiver to go to. Number 8, T.J. Cunningham with the reception.
And folks, this is a freshman. Last year he was playing high school football in Mission, Texas, and he's stopping and pointing his receiver to move on downfield.
Playing in Tom Landry Stadium down there in Mission, Texas.
It was great poise. Pressure up the middle. Pass is complete. And Lamont Warren will take it to the 36-yard line, but most importantly, a 3rd down conversion and a 1st down Colorado.
Ron, you're right. You talk about a young freshman, but the key here might be as you watch Coy Detmer go back, this may be his best play of the night because there's just no one blocking the inside backer, and then he's able to throw the ball to Lamont Warren.
Mario Freeman is the man who's coming after him, Mike.
Look, at Mario Freeman has a straight shot to him, but he's able to get the ball away for the gain to Lamont Warren.
Oklahoma by 3. We're about to go under 11 minutes left to play in the ball game. Ball is drilled to Westbrook. And Tim Brando, let's get an update from you.
What a remarkable comeback between USC and California. This is Esdras Creighton cracking in from a yard out. They were down 24-13 at one point. Now, Russell White did not play, didn't make the trip. He had groin and elbow injuries. But SC comes back to win it by 3.
Trojans. Wow. Westbrook, who caught the pass, will go out. Caruth will come in replacing him. He's a freshman from Sacramento. Speaking of SC, for Sacramento in the northern part of the state. Straight ahead with James Hill, who gets a carry. And he's going to have the first down in second effort. Trey Tippins holding on for dear life. 1st and 10 Buffaloes.
Going to take a little pressure off Coy Detmer if they could get a little bit more going in the running game. James Hill, number 33, just on the straightaway zone play, just keeps running through tackles and picks up good yardage.
Mitchell and Caruth both with good blocks in the play. Pass incomplete. And a very smart move there because John Anderson was holding all over Detmer, and he did have a receiver in the area.
John Anderson at the end of the play just smacked his hand against the turf because he knew that Tom Hayes had dialed up a great defensive call. Number 39 is right in the face of Coy Detmer, but Coy Detmer is able to get the ball away and throw it away and avoid the sack.
Second down. Wide open over the middle, and he almost throws an interception, but that ball was trapped. The only person I could see in the area was T.J. Cunningham, and it looked as though that maybe Detmer got it off the wrong foot and just floated it over his head.
Well, here's a freshman, number 14. He went right to the receiver, number 9, Charles Johnson Jr., and told him, you busted the route. You're supposed to be on a corner route. Poorly thrown ball, but he's directing traffic out there like he's a veteran.
Westbrook is out, and again it's Caruth into the lineup. Number 18. Looking for Caruth, and he has the catch at the 21. Now it is going to be 4th down.
Now you take the tie. You try to go for the tie.
Well, Mitch Berger is coming on to attempt this field goal rather than Blato, who missed back in the first half. Kick is on its way. Plenty of distance. Off to the left. Well off to the left. And no good. So we'll take a break as Colorado runs a foul with field goal attempts. 17-14. OU on top. Boulder, Colorado, as you look at the freshman talking with his receivers, Coy Detmer. What has been a very rapidly played ball game, although we have had a lot of passes thrown in it tonight. Rashid takes it straight ahead, and I would imagine that if Oklahoma can get away with a like 66-33 breakdown of run pass with this 3-point lead, that we'd see it right now, don't you?
Well, this is the problem when you throw the ball as much as both these teams do, is trying to run clock. There's 8:42 left to go. You have to do it by throwing the football.
And here comes Gundy with just that. Out of the backfield, Rashid. He will take it to the 35 and still fighting to the 38. John Knutson is there defensively.
Kenyon Rashid just becomes more valuable to this offense in a running game. He's able to catch the football coming out of the backfield. He's a blocker in the I formation. Just does it all back there for Oklahoma.
Crowd chants defense. Rashid takes it for 5 yards. Beekert is down at the bottom of the stack.
This last 8 minutes is going to belong to Kenyon Rashid if they can hold on to the football. Who's going to run it? It's going to be the pass receiver, a primary receiver of Cale Gundy's, and try to control the clock with the big fullback, 5'11" and 241 pounds out of Rockhurst High School, Kansas City, Missouri.
Thought he was going to Penn State, but 4 days before the signing date, visited with Barry Switzer, changed his mind, said he was going to Norman. Brewer this time gets treated rudely in the middle of the line, and now a very big third down Oklahoma as Clavel makes the defensive play.
The strategy becomes clear with 7:12 on the clock. The Colorado has 2 timeouts left. Oklahoma has 3. Got to put a stop to this drive.
Going to have to hurry. 25-second clock is down to 7, down to 6, down to 5. Gundy is going to call timeout. He looked up and saw it and realized he'd never get it off. So let's take a timeout. 6:46 to play in the ball game. Sooners by 3.
All 4 Escort LX models equipped with air conditioning, AM/FM stereo, power steering, and more. Now share the same low price of just $10,499. 4 Escorts, 1 price. It's that easy.
Just northwest of Kalispell, Montana, there's a place where you can punch cattle instead of a time clock and discover what horsepower is really about. It's the Hargrave Cattle and Guest Ranch, where you can ride them and rope them like they used to. But if you go, you got to pull your own weight and pull out your Visa card. Because at Hargrave, they don't take the tin horns and they don't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Not long ago, the fellas over at the country club gave Ed Hensel a little party. You see, in over 40 years, Ed never missed a day at the club. Every afternoon, just after 3, like clockwork, there's Ed. A banker by trade, Ed is a master at knowing just how to fill all that leisure time. Unfortunately, banker's hours may not be your hours when buying a car. So finance your new vehicle with GMAC right at your GM dealership. Nobody knows more about auto financing and leasing. And we don't keep banker's hours.
Introducing Ford Taurus and the Dummy. Ford has the only cars in this class that offer dual airbags. And to help make sure you won't have to use them, Taurus also offers anti-lock brakes. Ford Taurus.
Leading Heisman hopeful Marshall Faulk leads San Diego State's ground attack against Air Force next Saturday on ESPN.
Brad Riddell, number 84, looking onto the field. Prepared to help his teammates, but he hopes he doesn't have to. He hopes he doesn't because it's third down, and you could see how many yards they need right there. Riddell will have to come on and punt as the Sooners are dropped for a loss. Diet Bryan, a junior from Arvada, Colorado.
Oklahoma tried to sneak the draw up inside the Colorado defense. Figured they'd be in a heavy pass rush on third and passing situation. Sneak Kenyon Rashid inside. Nothing there.
Dion Figures. And let's take a look. Get a great angle from up top, and you can see the coverage by Oklahoma, and you can also see what Colorado is doing, whether they will have a return on or whether they will go after the kick.
You know, Cale Gundy's still on the field arguing with official. What he's arguing about. Well, he wants a different football. He's complaining about the football. A lot of times you use different footballs when Oklahoma's in there, supposed to use their football. Maybe they got the Colorado ball in there by mistake.
They kept shaking that thing, too. You know how sometimes you get a piece of rubber in there and you get a rattle? no distractions right now.
That's after you get hit by those linemen, you hear a rattle.
Oh, what a kick into the wind. Wow. Figures all the way back to the 7-yard line. 50 yards on the kick at Adrian Karsten. What do you have for us?
Well, Ron, the ramifications of that missed field goal moments ago by Colorado Pat Blatto injured his right kicking leg, actually pulled his quadricep in his kicking leg, and he said he really lost the whip, of course, in that soccer-style kick, which makes all the difference. Therefore, they had to send Berger in. He was not ready to kick, and you saw the result. Bottom line is, the most significant injury in this game occurred before the game actually started. Could bring the Buffalo's winning streak in the Big 8 to a conclusion.
Okay, Adrian, great hustle. Good story. 6:01 to play. Oklahoma by 3. Detmer over the middle, throws it complete to Westbrook. Oklahoma trying to wrestle the ball away at the 15-yard line. Well, the thing about Westbrook, Mike, you can get him a 5, 6, or 7-yard pass, and it can turn into 80 real quickly.
Well, he can. He's 6'4", 210 pounds with excellent speed out of Chadsey High School, Detroit, Michigan. Just runs very well after the catch.
Comes down. You could see that there was nobody, not a definitive receiver out there in the area. Maybe that's the reason for the flag. They're going to call procedure against the Buffaloes. Well, be sure to be with our NFL crew tomorrow at noon Eastern time for the most comprehensive pregame show on television, NFL Game Day, and some things that they'll have for you. Mark Griffin's up and down season with Washington. And also Joe Theismann visits with Steve Young. Then after the action is settled tomorrow, catch every highlight of every game on NFL Primetime. It's all tomorrow right here on ESPN. Ron Franklin, Mike Gottfried, and Adrian Karsten, and glad to have you along from Boulder, Colorado. 5:21 left to play in the ball game. It is Oklahoma 17-14. So Colorado calls a timeout, and we'll take it with them. Could the string be coming to an end tonight? 5:21 will tell us. Bill McCartney, knowing that several streaks are on the line, the most important thing, though, is the battle for the Orange Bowl and the Big 8 title this year. Pass knocked away at the 20-yard line as reaching around was Schenkel.
Well, he made a great play, William Schenkel, because he avoided the interception. With his body, he almost had to come through number 8, T.J. Cunningham, but by using his arm, he avoided the interference. Watch him come around here with his arm. A nice job with defensive play.
I think he liked it.
He's bicycle pedaling from there on in.
It's a mountain bike. Third down. Detmer. Intercepted by Oklahoma. Johnson will score. Darius Johnson, the freshman from Terrell, Texas, with the interception.
It's on the 40, baby. Let's get out loud. It's on the 40, baby. What's up, Tucky, baby?
Six turnovers, Colorado, 4 interceptions. Blanton's extra point attempt is up, and he's good. And Mike, this crowd is stunned.
Well, both the crowd and the Colorado football team stunned right now. Talk about freshman quarterbacks. Boy, Detmer sets up to throw the curl route for the first down. See, pretty good protection, but Darius Johnson, number 42, steps in front of the curl route and turns it into 7 points. I can remember Troy Aikman's first game was against us at Kansas, and we picked off several passes and were able to upset Oklahoma when he was a freshman quarterback. Tough on the freshmen. They have to learn. This is a learning experience tonight for Coy Detmer.
Well, there's, as we mentioned, so much on the line tonight. Here are the unbeaten streaks as far as in Big 8 conference competition. Colorado 22-0-1, 1988 to date. And right now, They have 5:09 to avoid disaster. Now he's got the weapons, speaking to Bill McCartney as he paces the sideline, but the thing tonight that has plagued them, not only an outstanding Oklahoma defense, but 6 turnovers, 4 interceptions. You can't blame them all on the freshman. This Oklahoma defense, injuries and all, has come in here and just played a miraculous football game.
Ron, you got to dig deeper. You got to dig deeper into this thing. And rushing yardage, they haven't been able to run the football. So that means all the pressure falls on the quarterback in the passing game when you can't run the football. If there's no disguise of whether it's going to be a run or pass, then you're throwing against heavy coverage.
That's exactly what has happened tonight. And the Sooners have been able to run the football. Blanton's kick. This one will come down to Eric Mitchell. John Anderson on the special teams, and as we check down on the field and watch the Colorado Buffaloes coming back on the field, Coy Detmer goes into the huddle quickly, talking to his teammates. And, you know, I know he has had a night that he would like to quickly forget, Mike, but he still has all the poise and confidence in the world. He believes he can win this football game, I think. Steps up, drills the pass, complete to Poirier, his tight end. Going to be good for about 5 yards. It's Coates and Mario Freeman defensively.
All week, if you're here at Colorado, you heard about all the Oklahoma defensive players that were not going to play in the game. Tom Hayes, the defensive coordinator, rallied this bunch tonight because they won this football game on defense.
Goes up on time, looking for Johnson. It is intercepted. Darnell Walker. His 3rd interception of the night. Drew Chrisman has 1. 5 interceptions, 7 Colorado turnovers.
It's the 3rd interception for Darnell Walker tonight. They had 2 passes that they threw over top of him tonight. One, I think, was a busted coverage. So he's been a very active young man tonight. 5'8", 164-pound senior.
Now, the conversation on the sideline right now for that young fella is very important, and also the one that he'll have in the locker room. And screaming and shouting is not the answer. That's not what he's accustomed to, and not the way to handle it, for that matter, is it? Ball is loose. Colorado still fighting for the football, and Brown has picked it up.
Chad Brown was trying to figure a way to run it. He was down. And a smart football player. He's trying to figure out how to get up and run with it.
I think Elder's going to cause this fumble, Mike, when we look at the replay.
Just a straight handoff to Kenyon Rashid, and you're
Marcellus
right.
Knocked it out.
Marcellus Elder, number 97, caused a fumble. Let's take a second look. See the big fullback come through. The ball squirts out. Chad Brown, 34, recovers.
Not without a little duress first. So the situation, 4:27 left in the ball game. Oklahoma by 10, Colorado with the football and markers down all over.
It looked like they moved a little bit before the snap, Colorado.
False start offense, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
Gary Gibbs would like to have a little relaxing win here. The fat lady's getting ready to start gargling, and then they turn it over. So you know he can't even relax on the sideline. A chance for a big win here tonight against Colorado, and he's got to sweat it out. 4:26 on the clock.
Just put a parka back on the fat lady.
That is complete at the 26-yard line to Charles Johnson. And the way he turned around, you almost thought that they were going to try to set up the old hook and ladder play. Didn't he look like he was looking for somebody maybe to level?
You're right, Ron. Looked like that possibility was there, but the defender was on him too quick before he could pitch it.
Detmer points to his receiver, throws, complete to Johnson inside the 10.
Oklahoma decided to sit back that time, playing zone defense, see if he'd throw one to them this time, an interception, but Coy Detmer just bought some time, picked out a receiver that was open and keeps moving the chains.
From the 8. Warren picked up the blitz this time. The pass to Westbrook is incomplete. Well, the Sooners tried to sneak that man through and try to put pressure on the quarter, but that time Warren came up and really belted him.
He really did make a great block there. Colorado went with a real close set where all three receivers are in close and tried to get Michael Westbrook outside. Charles Johnson came open inside. I don't know if they'll come back to that formation, but if they do, they should look for Charles Johnson because he's the one that came free.
It's a run. Lamont Warren at the 3-yard line. Darius Johnson, who had the interception for a touchdown a moment ago, saved a touchdown here.
Boy, great call by Les Steckel, the offensive coordinator. Everybody in this ballpark thought it was going to be a throw. Just a draw. Look how it opens up inside. Lamont Warren tried to break it outside. Darius Johnson makes the tackle. What you'd like your back to do is just stay straight and head up and get as much as you can get.
That's a really good open field tackle because it looked for the world as though Warren was heading for the end zone. Under 3.5 to play. And now an official timeout is called. The 25-second clock, Mike, I have to wonder if it was malfunctioning because it showed 0, but no whistle or delay of game had been called.
This is a break for Colorado because it gives them time to set up a play, a little bit more time to decide what plays best against this Oklahoma defense. See Bill McCartney talking to Mike Berry, the offensive line coach.
Clock is running again. 3:23 left to play. Oklahoma by 10. Warren, right side, touchdown Oklahoma, or Colorado.
Ron, the fat lady, can go get a hot dog because it's going to be a long 3 minutes and 14 seconds before she starts singing just yet.
3:14 to play. Warren takes it in for the Colorado touchdown, and now the extra point attempt becomes even more important. With the injury to Blato, Mitch Berger attempting the extra point. Again, it's Duke Tobin holding. Knocks it home. We have a 3-point ball game. And one more look at the touch.
Tailback counter play to Lamont Warren with James Hill picking up a block inside for him. Clint Moore, number 66, leading the way, and Lamont Warren in the end zone for the touchdown. Now you have to think onside kick. Whether you're going to onside kick now and draw the circle the wagons right now and try to win the game with the onside kick, or do you kick them deep and you have one timeout left and try to hold them down there and make a punt out of their own end of the field. It's a decision Bill McCartney is faced with right now.
Well, the special teams coaches gathering their teams on both sides of the field.
I think with 3:14 and as good a defense as I have at Colorado, I'm kicking it deep. And I'm going to try to pin them back there with the one timeout. Hope that I can hold them and get the football in good position to try to win it at the end.
Coming up next, the Residents In College Scoreboard Show. Well, we've had some big ones today. Tennessee falls at home to Alabama. South Carolina gets in the win column with a victory over Mississippi State in the Southeastern Conference.
Big win for Sparky Wood. Glad to see it.
One of just a number of games that they'll talk about coming up immediately following this one. Mitch Berger, because of that injury to Blato, will kick it off.
Oklahoma is not expecting the onside kick. They don't have an onside return. They're playing their regular kickoff return people in there. They're expecting them to kick it deep.
Kicks it away. And again, this one's going to go all the way out of the back of the end zone. So the Sooners will take it over at the 20-yard line. 3:14 left on the clock.
Well, they're going to turn it over their defense and this crowd of Colorado Buffalo fans now.
And the tough thing for the Oklahoma offense and this gentleman, Cale Gundy, they are operating from the horseshoe end of the stadium, which is the student section, and it's a lot noisier down there.
Remember, when you're a throwing football team, now all of a sudden you're trying to kill the clock and running the football.
Well, this time Williams takes it for very nearly 5 yards. Dwayne Davis holding on for dear life.
Good first down play by Oklahoma, 5 yards.
And Adrian Karsten, what do you have for us?
On with the game on the line. The Buffalo defense is in there with these instructions. Force them into a passing situation. 2nd long, 3rd long. Then go after J.C. Conrad, the freshman center. Send Renfro and Rogers right over the top of it.
Okay, we'll keep an eye. It is 2nd and 5. Going to get that opportunity right now as Rashid barrels his way for close to 10 yards. Chad Brown finally trips him up. And now 2 minutes and 27 seconds showing on the clock as the chains move. They'll wind it back into action. That is a huge first down.
Oh, it is a big first down. A team that lives and dies by throwing the football in 1992 has to win this game running the football now. Vice versa on the side defense, a team that's used to playing throwing teams has to now stop the run. Mike Hankwitz, defensive coordinator, looks on.
Oh, my goodness. Ronnie Bradford, as soon as the ball was handed off, was right there to just smack him down. And how in the world he held onto the football, I don't know.
Well, they brought everybody, Ron. They're figuring the same thing, that Oklahoma's going to run the football. They bring Ronnie Bradford, number 13, off the corner. And Ernest Williams, there was nobody to pick him up. They just didn't have the numbers to pick him up. But the clock is in the favor of Oklahoma, 1:35 on the clock. Colorado will probably use their timeout after this play.
This is the 10th Oklahoma play. Stop for a loss. And last play. Hit at the line of scrimmage. And Williams will be stopped. It's going to be 3rd down.
They're going to save their timeout to after 3rd down, it looks like, now with 1:12 on the clock.
Clock running down, and you have to wonder, the people up in Lincoln, who they're pulling for in this one.
They'd like to see a tie.
They get Colorado up there.
Cale Gundy, the veteran quarterback, is going to use every second on his 25-second clock.
3rd down. The line to make for the Sooners, the 44. They take it straight ahead, taking no chances of a turnover. Clavel on the stop, and now the timeout is used by Colorado, and will take it with them. 38 ticks left on the clock. Oklahoma 24, Colorado 21. And 11. And Brad Riddell, who has been outstanding for the Sooners tonight, back in punt formation. Dion figures in a single safety.
I think you have to go after this punt with only 38 seconds to go. Try to spring somebody here and try to win the ball game right here.
Markers all over the place. End over end kick. Figures with a fair catch at the 25-yard line.
I think with the movement of Colorado, Oklahoma jumped, so it should be on Oklahoma. Back them up 5 more yards and try it again. Mike Fields, number 34, moves just before the snap because of the movement, and that's the penalty. Now what that does, that gives you a look at their punt formation again that they're using, so still look for some type of punt rush, punt block rather than return.
Penalty pushes it back to the 28.
You put somebody over the center, Ron, the long snapper. You want to make sure he knows he's going to get smacked in the face on the play, and you're hoping for a bad snap and bring somebody up inside.
Low pass from center, and a great job to get the kick off even. Figures. Stays on the field to play rather than getting out of bounds with 24 seconds left. Well, tonight's Visa players of the game are, we went defense on both sides. How could you not? Aubrey Beavers, Oklahoma, 4 tackles, 1 fumble return for a touchdown and also an interception. And for the Colorado Buffaloes, it is Greg Biekert, 13 tackles and 1 sack. And as part of their continuing effort to further the development of amateur athletics, Visa proud to donate $1,000 to each of these universities and $1,000 to the U.S. Olympic team on their behalf. Detmer over the middle, ball is tipped, and I believe Poirier held on to it. Yes, he did.
I think he was going to try to lateral that one, Ron. They need about 25 yards. They've got to get up the field to try this 25 to 30 yards to get themselves in field goal range.
He downs it with 7 seconds showing on the clock. Colorado with no timeouts remaining. So again, not to question the abilities of Mitch Berger, who is one of the very best punters in the country, but he is having to handle the place kicking chores tonight, and a distance field goal by him is a real question mark. Pass delivered. It is caught and out of bounds. T.J. Cunningham, and he is at the 36-yard line.
Well,
2 seconds left.
You're going to get a 53-yard field goal attempt, right? With 2 seconds to go.
Mitch Berger will be attempting a field goal of 53 yards, and now it is going to be the shoe on the other foot. You remember last year, Colorado called 3 timeouts in a row to try to ice the Nebraska kicker, and the Sooners have just taken one of their 2 remaining.
Well, I think they'll use their second one also. There's no sense in taking it back to Norman with them. They might as well use that one too. And we talk about streaks, so the streak's on the line here with 1 field goal coming up.
Immediately following this, the residents in College School Board, they will talk about all the action today. We talked about there have been some real exciting, some upset as usual. Florida State having to come from behind. I hope you were with us earlier today. Chad Brown looking on. Goes back to 1988 since the Colorado Buffaloes have lost a conference game. They've won 3 straight Big 8 titles. And Adrian Karsten, what do you have for us?
Berger's longest field goal made in practice, 58 yards.
Well, this one is going to be from 53 yards from the far hash mark. You take a look. Those folks in the end zone will be a pretty good barometer. Good pass. Got the distance. He's gone. Here's a replay. Pat Blotto, the regular kicker, is injured. Mitch Berger, who is one of the best punters in the nation, sends that baby home from 53 yards. And as the clock shows 3 zeros up there, it is Colorado keeping their Big 8 win streak alive. And Adrian Karsten, what do you have for us?
With the man of the second run, what were your thoughts as you came to the line of scrimmage?
I better not miss again or nobody will ever let me kick anywhere else.
What's the longest kick you'd ever made in your career?
72 in practice, but in the game it was 47.
When you knew that Vlatto had the injury in pregame, did you know that the pressure was going to be on you here to save the streak?
I thought there might be a chance of it. You know, I never really kicked an important kick in college before as far as field goals go, but I just tried to pretend I was on the practice field. I'm only sorry that, you know, I didn't hit that short one so we could win the game. I'm thinking about that more than anything. I guess I probably shouldn't, but, you know, this is great, though, that I made it. I just wish I would have made the other one, too.
Enjoy it. Ron?
Okay, Adrian, once again, the final score. Colorado 24 and Oklahoma 24. Stay tuned for the Residence Inn College Football Scoreboard, which follows next. For Mike Gottfried and Adrian Karsten, I'm Ron Franklin saying good night from Boulder, Colorado.